your safety, please read it as soon as possible.
Hey guys, welcome to week 8, also known as Spoopy Week. We are at the halfway point in this week of Spoopy, and things are turning around. I mean, if you look at the scores this week, we got Jenny in the top 3 scores. We got Kevin in the top 3 scores. And we got little old me in the top 3 scores.
No, stop it.
Sorry, mask was affecting my voice there. We'll be starting with players of the week, and first guy we'll mention is you might have heard of him, Justin Herbert, otherwise known as Herbie Fully Loaded. Man, this won't quit. He keeps performing. He just keeps showing up. I don't know what he's eating every morning, but he needs to keep doing it. You know, this week he had 347 yards passing, 66 yards rushing, and 4 total touchdowns for a total of 49 points.
Big game.
That's crazy. Tyler Lockett.
What were his stats? 49
Receiver?
points.
Yeah, this receiver had quarterback-like stats. 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Absolutely ridiculous. Like I said earlier,
Ridiculous.
49 points, just like Herbie Fully Loaded. This man, I don't get what happened. He won a lot of people their games this week.
He ate his Wheaties that morning for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and then another man that I never thought I would see up here ever again. Baker Mayfield. 297 yards passing, 5 touchdowns for a total of 41 points. And this kind of brings up the question, is Baker better without, OBJ? OBJ went down, so.
I think so.
I mean, stats speak for themselves.
Yeah. He doesn't have OBJ in his ear asking him for that one-handed catch for every single play.
He's like, wait, there's more than just one receiver on the team? I didn't know that.
Yeah. That the whole defense that played against them didn't know that either.
Very true. And then we got someone that everyone knows, Jeffrey Wilson for the 49ers. He had 112 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. He ended up getting hurt towards the end of the game, but he still turned in a nice 32 fantasy points for anyone that scoured those waiver wires for him.
That's nice. That's Jeffrey Wilson just sounds like a bus driver.
It kind of does.
But if you're driving the bus for the 49ers, it's going to be a good day.
Apparently.
He was driving, school bus to a bunch of victories this week for his team. So
Probably. Then we'll move on to the Dookie performers. I'm going to start off with someone I didn't think we'd see on this list, but Chase Claypool. He had 1 catch for -2 yards. So he got a whole -0.7 points.
Yeah.
Would have been better off just not doing anything.
Nope. He had that really big week. He made the top players of the week one week. And then the Steelers were like, oh, that's my bad, Juju. We'll throw you the ball every single play. And
yeah, so I guess apparently we're just going to get a different Steelers receiver on this list, depending on who gets all the throws.
Yep, that's what it seems like.
And then up next, this is a different bit than normal. We're just going to say the entire Dallas Cowboys. They lost to the Washington football team, 25-3, and their entire offense outside of Amari Cooper was bad. Zeke got 5 points, Michael Gallup 0 points, CeeDee Lamb 0.5 point, and then Andy Dalton, who did get murdered in the middle of the game, got 1.9 points.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P. indeed.
That's rough. See his head rolling around on the field like that too.
And not a single Dallas Cowboy came to his defense. They're just like, damn. Oh, well.
They have completely forgotten what football is.
Yeah, all of them are mentally checked out.
They need T.O. again. That's my quarterback.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
So into last week's matchups. First off, we got Kevin versus Mir. Kevin scored second highest score in the league this week, 138. Miller really didn't like. He scored 91, which isn't terrible. I mean, there were people that scored less than Miller, but Tyler Lockett, that we mentioned earlier, scored 49 of his 91 points. That makes it look a lot worse for him.
Yeah. I appreciated it, though.
Yeah, I mean, it made your week much, much easier. Next up, we have Jacob versus Coop, and Jacob still holding on to that number one spot, beats Coop 117 to 104. Coop still keeping it close in the standings. He is actually tied for second. He's in third, technically behind Aaron because his points for are garbage, but he is up there, so he's still hanging on. But Jacob is just slowly pulling away from the pack.
Now moving on to the Bo versus Alex matchup. You know, just like every other week, Bo lost. Wait a minute. Huh? Weird. Just got word that Bo actually won this week and didn't just barely win. He scored 171 to have a final score of 171 to 90. That gives him the top score this week. Whew, man, that was a great performance. As good as Ian's last week, so maybe he won't score as low next week. We'll see.
Yeah, I didn't want to spend it all on 1 week. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said earlier, I went all the way down to 12. That's what I was planning on doing. I want to get down to the bottom rankings, and I was like, while I'm here, might as well hit the bottom. And it's nowhere but up from here. I mean, 171 is probably going to be a trend for me. I'll probably hit over 170 every week, without a doubt.
Yeah. I can see it.
Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it. Makeup land.
Yeah, I love makeup land. Lipstick and concealer just all over the place.
Make believe land.
Oh,
You heard what
God.
I said. Anyways, before I was really interrupted, Alex still has a good firm grasp on his team right now. I got it. And should I just
No, keep going, please.
screw it? I'm going on. And then with this win, Bo actually moves up in the standings.
Yep. You guys are screwed. I know how to move up.
Yeah.
You just got to score the top for the week. That's
Yep.
it. Secret unlocked.
Easy peasy. I'm going to average over 170. So,
Maybe you move up. Yeah. So then moving on to Chris versus Ian. As everyone knows, Ian was just shy of 200 points last week. And so, yeah, he definitely wasted all of his points last week and only put up 87 points this week. And that was just a rough outing this week for him, which really helped Chris because Chris put up only 88. So he beat him by 1.
not even.
If Ian just saved like 5 points last week and just used it this week, it would, wouldn't have moved down in the standings like he did. So,
Yeah, that was rough.
You got to manage your points a little bit better there, Ian. So,
Yeah, I mean, that was literally neither of them were the bottom score of the week, but they were the second and third worst scores in the league. So Chris was really able to save his week because Ian just had nothing left in the tank.
Yep. It's actually now back-to-back weeks that Chris has gotten a win without scoring 90 points. He's just skating by, just under there. He's still losing to the median. That's not changing. But
yeah,
I mean,
maybe that exclamation.
1-1. So
Yeah, maybe that exclamation is not like not Christastrophe, but maybe it's like you have it, Christastrophe, for her.
yeah, you're not wrong.
He's forcing it
I
on
don't know how
everyone
he
else.
do it. I would like to know the secret power of my opponents being bad. I mean, I did get that this week. That's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
same.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Jenny versus Aaron. Like we said earlier in the show, Meebo and Jenny were the top 3 scorers. So obviously Jenny won against Aaron, 127-113. Aaron still gets a median win, so it's not all is lost. But Jenny with the 2-0. That's her second time doing that in 3 weeks. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we got a C versus C, a Chase versus Colt, a 91-77 win for Chase. Chase gets the dub. Colt's back to losing. He threw in another very in the old name. It's up to 3 of those now. And Chase is still not doing great, but a win's a win.
Yep. He's able to skate by again. Just easing in those victories, even if he loses to the median, makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, a little easier to swallow that way.
Yeah.
And moving on to this week's matchups, we got Alex versus Chase, number 5 versus number 8. It's actually got some pretty heavy implications for the playoff race. Because like I said, they're 5 and 8, so they're battling right there in that middle at the bottom for the bottom of the playoff race, middle of the standings. And yeah, if you look at their last 3 weeks, their average scores are only separated by 0.3. Alex with an 89.2, Chase with an 88.9. So it should be a barn burner of a game.
Yeah, it's they're lining it up to be a good game. Bringing it back to the stats, first 3 weeks, Alex had the worst average score per week. He came in at 12th. Chase, number 1, averaging over 140 points. His team was absolutely looking unstoppable. And you brought up the scores these past 3 weeks. Alex is actually a 9th on average. Chase has fallen to number 11. So his team is just, they blew it all in the first 3 weeks is what it's looking like.
That does seem to be the way it's going.
Yeah. And coming up next, we have Ian versus Jenny. That is number 4 versus number 10. Jenny has been hanging out near the bottom. She has been trying to get out. She's had a couple wins these past few weeks. Ian, really staying up there near the top. Both of these teams want to move up, obviously. But Ian's team these past 3 weeks has basically been Chase's team from the beginning of the league. I mean, first 3 weeks, Ian 7th overall in points. Last 3 weeks, number 1. It does help whenever you almost score 200 points one of those weeks.
Yep.
But he is number 1. Jenny goes from 11th in the first 3 weeks all the way down there at the bottom to 5th these last 3 weeks. So she is also improving. So both these teams headed in the right direction. We're going to see how that plays out. And then we have Jacob versus Chris. Jacob still holding on to number 1. He will not let that go. He let it go one time, didn't like it, so he grabbed back on. And Chris is in the top 6 right now. He is at an even 7-7, so he could tear Jacob down from that number 1 spot. But going into the stats, first 3 weeks, Jacob, number 2, averaging 134. Last 3 weeks, number 3. So he's in the decline. I mean, where does it end? Jacob's going to be down at the bottom by the end of the year. It's not looking good for him.
All I see is that 3 is just okay. I don't like being just okay. To be number 1, you gotta be the best. So this week, watch out. I'll have the number 1 overall score.
Oh, it's a bold
Big words.
statement. Yeah. I mean, Chris, first 3 weeks, you were number 2. He was number 3. So he's hanging in there with you. Last 3 weeks, you fell all the way to number 3. Same exact thing with Chris. He went from 3 all the way down to 8th. He is averaging 93 the past 3 weeks. It's not good. Chris, probably not going to cut it. You should probably pick that up.
Probably.
But not this week, please.
It won't matter if you're the number 1 scorer.
Yeah.
I like my points against to be low still.
Ah,
Gotta have that defense, represent a little bit.
yep.
So moving on. This matchup is really special. It's Bo versus Obi. This next matchup is really special. It's not because they, number 11 versus number 12, closest ones, battling out in the standings. It's not because these guys are like really, lifelong best friends. It's because Bo and Obi form Booby, and that is awesome. So look out for this matchup this week and just enjoy it, because
You acted like you think we did that on accident. Can't not be
Hey.
best friends whenever that's what your names do.
True. That is true. I'm very happy you guys did this.
Oh yeah.
I think it's worth bringing up also that Obi is in the 12th in standings, and also in the past 3 weeks he is the lowest scorer on average. So, he's really just playing the part.
Yeah, he's not trying to fake it. He is who he is. First 3 weeks, he was number 6, bottom of the first half of the league. And this week, the last 3 weeks, bottom of the second half. He's just feeling it out. He's feeling which side is comfier. And that's why I'm headed to the top. First 3 weeks, I was 8th highest average score. Last 3 weeks, 2nd highest, baby.
All right, now this next matchup won't be quite as good as this, this Booby matchup over here, but still special in our hearts here at Respect Your Elders, because it seems like every week we get one of these. C versus C, Coop versus Colt this week. I'm excited to see Very, Very Bad. Welcome back to the standings. So let's go, Coop. Let's just get a nice easy dub this week, because I don't think Colt's gonna really show up. So.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but if you look at the standing or the last 3 weeks, Colt's the 6th best scorer these past Colt is the best. If you look at the stats, Colt these past 3 weeks is the 6th best scorer. So you say it's going to be an easy win, but I mean, he's right there in the middle. And you take a look at Coop, past 3 weeks, he's 10th. He's not even doing that good. He's like, when does CMC come back? Please, I need him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I get it. I do get that part.
Yeah. They almost switched spots. First 3 weeks, Coop was 4th, Colton was 10th. Now it's 10th and 6th. So they're kind of moving in opposite directions, and it's now looking good for Coop.
But somehow he is the 3rd ranked team, because he is just super lucky.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
sometimes that's the way the fantasy cookie crumbles.
yeah, this is the best way. If you can have the luck, you probably will win. He's for the entire season 8th in points for. So screw it. You're just being 3rd. We'll just give it to you.
And then the last matchup this week would be one of our elders, Kevin, versus one of our elders' brother, Aaron. And just got to keep an eye out for this matchup. Do you guys have anything you say? Kevin?
Yeah, so I mean, we've got Aaron. He's ranked. He's tied for 2nd. He is actually 2nd because he's got the higher points for. But the past 3 weeks, Aaron's actually 7th. And then you look at me, I'm ranked 9th. It's not looking great. But past 3 weeks, I'm ranked 4th. So basically what I'm saying is this should be a dub for Kev.
I mean, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
Good game.
Me personally, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the championship, Kevin. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, you would think with the amount of championship games me and Bo have been to and won, we would have faced off at least one time. But shockingly, we've never played each other in the fantasy championship.
Nope.
We've both been there 3 times. Or we've both been there a lot, actually, not just 3 times. But never against each other. I don't know how that's happened. It's kind of a mystery, to be honest.
6 wins apiece and no competition between the two. But like my daddy always used to say. All right. That's all we have for week Spoopy 8. And actually, Kevin, what sauce packet is that? They always have something that says on the bottom.
Okay. It's this right here.
What does that say?
Idiots.
Did we get you, stupid? Happy Spoopy week, month, day.
We'll see you later, youngins.
So do I need to get out of my chair?
Yeah, Kevin.
You talk to the camera, not the mic.
Oh, well.
Do I need to get on my chair?
No, you stay in yours.
Okay.
I was kidding. Get out of your chair, nerd.